Hi, this is Michael Uslan. You're watching Batman on film.
Hey now, welcome to episode number 54. I had to look. Of the Batman on Film blog. I am the founder of Batman on Film, Bill Jett Ramey, and I want everybody to welcome our new member, my new sidekick. Everybody, welcome Rick Shew to Batman on Film. Everybody, thank you.
Thank you very much. I have a booby trap here. Excuse me. Haven't done a vlog in a while. My little man cave where I set this up.
Yes.
We good? We
Yeah.
good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What's going on, Bill Ramey?
Well, the Joker is about to make $1 billion, I think. As of like right now, and this is thanks to Forbes and Scott Mendelson. I like his work over there.
He does a good
Forbes. Job. Joker probably sits around 957 million worldwide as we speak. 32% of the box office is domestic. 68% is overseas. And here's the thing, Rick: no China. No China.
Maybe that's a good sign for Star Wars because Star Wars has lost
China.
Star Wars has lost China. I don't know. They never really had it, but it's just gotten worse for them.
But it's screening in China, right?
It will.
There.
I'm just saying.
Yes.
I'm just saying that it flops over there now.
Well,
it never did.
Yeah, Joker's getting nothing from China. It didn't screen there. It is the most profitable comic book movie of all time because it was not a lot of money was spent to make it, and it's made a lot of money. So there you go. Profit, cost and how much you got coming back. Profitable movie. Again, and also no 3D boost. There was no Joker in 3D, dude. So it's pretty impressive to say.
It's a remarkable achievement. Now all Warner Brothers needs to do is shift that goodwill for releasing the Snyder Cut and gearing up for the Joker 2.
Anyway.
Sips coffee.
Joker it's going to pass The Dark Knight as the highest grossing film to never screen in China. I mean, China is a big deal nowadays. You go look at some of these movies and see how much these Aquaman and so forth, and see how much cash they pulled in. Spider-Man, the latest one, Far From Home.
And Fast and the Furious is huge over there.
How much money they make in China, and to do that with Joker doing this without that market is impressive. I didn't know how people were going to react to Joker. I'd always said it's not going to be for everybody. But apparently it was for a lot of people because it's going to make $1 billion. Now, you haven't seen it yet, which angers me.
Nope.
Because I can't talk to you about it right now.
I am going to see it Wednesday night finally.
Barely got to talk to anybody about it online. I think I did a vlog in the last one was with Garrett Grev, and we talked a little bit about the Joker and theories and so forth. So maybe it's something.
So for everyone going, how the hell did he not see it? I missed the press screening, and then it was a snowball effect from there. And then my work life piled up like crazy. I was out of town for 2 weeks. I was in Boston and New York. While I was there, I thought I'll go catch it one night in Boston by myself. Never happened. Work stuff just flowed over into the evening, dinners and all these events I had to go to. It just never happened. I got home, and we had some issues with our family, one of our family pets that we had to deal with, and that kind of consumed me for a week. And then I took my kid camping for 3 days, and now I'm finally like my head above water. So there's a reason I haven't seen it.
Yes.
And it's weird, but I'm finally actually going Wednesday night. But yeah, missing that press screening, it just snowballed from there, man.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, I know the whole damn movie at this point anyway, but I want to see it. I got to see the execution of it. I want to see the cinematography. Yeah. I want to see the performances. I want to hear the score. So I'm excited to see it finally.
Without getting into specifics about the film, I will say in regards to Joker 2 or a sequel, a sequel would take away from what is brilliant about this film. And what's brilliant about this film is that it's ambiguous as hell, and there can be multiple interpretations of it, and all are valid. Okay, to have that movie explained for you with a sequel, which a sequel would have to do that. It would have to tell you what was real, what was not real. You're it's just taken away from what's great about Joker, which was never meant to be a franchise starter at all. It was meant to be a one-off, and it just happened to be a film that resonated with a lot of people and made a hell of a lot of money, you know?
Yeah, and there's a big faction of people that were excited about it for that reason, that this was going to be an Elseworlds-esque standalone film in a vacuum, and just a definitive story with a beginning, a middle, and an end, and how exciting that is for the unnamed Black Label part of DC Films, that they could take off and explore other characters and do similar things with them, maybe a Lex Luthor or whatever. And then it seems like a lot of those same people, once the movie came out and they saw it, now they want a sequel.
Well, I think it's. I mean, look,
and that's weird to me, because it defeats the whole purpose of what the way their mindset was exactly how they should be thinking, and with all due respect, should still be.
No offense to these people, but it's the mentality of. So it's a comic book movie. I'm using my fingers in quotations. Therefore, it should spawn a sequel, and it should spawn a franchise. And if it makes a lot of money, there's got to be a sequel. It doesn't have to be like that. Okay, we need to move. I think we need to move past this type of stuff with this genre. I think films. Look, it's a game changer. There's only a few game changers in this genre. The Dark Knight is one. Joker is one. Logan, definitely. I think Logan is a game changer in this genre. A lot of the others aren't. They're just. I mean, there's some really good movies in this genre, but not game changer. I would even say Deadpool. It was a game changer. As being R-rated, almost tongue-in-cheek. The whole thing. But there's not gonna be a sequel to this movie. It's not. It's not going to connect to the Batman, and it's just. I've said this. Just let it be. We're going to be talking about and debating about this film for years, and that's what's brilliant about it.
It is. You're right, and we're going to get Joker again anyway. Somebody's going to play him in a different variation.
Yes, and even Todd Phillips said that. This is what we did with this character, and there's gonna be another one. There's been others before.
I just have serious doubts that Matt Reeves will not eventually, assuming the Batman does well and it spawns sequels and he tells a trilogy, so to speak. I don't see how he tells a definitive Batman story without the Joker. So my guess is we'll see, and let him cast his Joker.
Exactly. Let him cast his Joker. Let Gotham City look like he wants Gotham City to look.
Right.
Let Bruce Wayne's backstory be the backstory that he wants it to be to fit the Batman universe.
Right.
Not what we saw in Joker.
Right.
It doesn't all have to connect, folks. It doesn't all have to connect. Okay. So we'll talk about Joker, Rick, next time after you see it.
But does it have to connect if they're in space?
Oh, if they're in space, yes. That's
okay.
That's one of the rules. If they're in space, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. I forgot about that rule. It's a rule.
All right.
In space. Okay.
Moving on.
All right. The Batman. The Batman is ramping up. We haven't even. It's been so long. We haven't even talked about any of the casting, except for Robert Pattinson, of course, is playing Batman Bruce Wayne, and he is, I think still working on Tenet, Chris Nolan's film, but he's also seems to be starting his training. He's getting some martial arts training with a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guru. There were some pictures that went out via this trainer. His name escapes me right now. And then he took him down off Instagram, so it probably was a no-no. But he's doing that. Obviously, he's getting ready for the Batman. He's come out and he said he's reading a lot of Batman comics. He said not only just the classics, but he's reading the monthlies, the regular Batman detective comics and stuff too. So dude's doing his homework. So besides Pattinson, which we've talked about before, Zoe Kravitz, of course, is playing Catwoman. Jeffrey Wright, I got a lot of thoughts about that one. Jeffrey Wright is playing Commissioner Gordon, or Jim. I don't know whether he's going to be Commissioner Gordon in this film or not, but he's playing Jim Gordon. Paul Dano is the Riddler. Also going by Edward Nashton, not Edward Nygma.
Yeah,
that is the original name of the character. And Edward Nygma has become more in today's comics an alias. I think he really is Nashton. But Edward Nygma. I mean, come on, Enigma, the Riddler. I mean, come on. Colin Farrell is most likely going to play the Penguin, Rick. Oswald Cobblepot and Andy Serkis. In June, Rick, we talked about that. I posted on Batman Film. I'd heard that Andy Serkis was in the mix for a part in the Batman, right? And it was not going to be a motion capture performance, but I didn't know which one it would be, and I assumed, I said, well, this is fan casting type stuff based on aesthetics. Well, he'll be the Penguin, and he's going to be Alfred.
You ever seen or read the play or heard of the play True West?
I can't say that I have.
It's one of my favorites. I've done it. I want to do it again as an adult at some point. That's really what it's designed for. Not a 22-year-old kid. But anyway, Sam Shepard. It's a brilliant, masterful work of playwriting. And the play is in an apartment. 95 to 98% of the play is two characters on stage. It's two brothers. One is kind of he's borderline homeless. He's a vagabond. He's jobless. He's kind of a bum. The other one's a writer. He's distinguished, accomplished, etc. And they have this dichotomy, right? And it's one of my favorite plays. Saw the play on Broadway in early 2000s, and it was John C. Reilly and Philip Seymour Hoffman. And the natural casting for that play is to have John C. Reilly playing Lee, which is the vagabond, crazy, drunk brother, having Philip Seymour Hoffman playing Austin, which is the cultured brother that's a writer. And just a lot of it by virtue of their size, their demeanor, everything. That's what you would picture in their casting. Saw it 2 nights. When it flipped, they changed. The second show I saw, and this was the brilliant thing about this performance. I'm getting somewhere with this, so bear with me. They swiped roles. I thought, well, this is going to be interesting. How is trying to picture Philip Seymour Hoffman playing the other brother, playing the antagonist. And it was that performance in that play, which, by the way, blew the other one out of the water, as brilliant as that one was, because it went against type. And these actors were playing something against their type, their physicality, their demeanor. They embraced it, and they made that role theirs, despite the physical handicaps that would come with them playing that part. And I was blown away. And it's been ever since that night and that play and on Broadway in 2000s, whatever year it was, early 2000s, that I have had a completely different mindset about casting and how one should approach it. And my point to all this, when I think of Colin Farrell playing the Penguin, I think of Philip Seymour Hoffman playing the vagabond, drunken brother Lee and Sam Shepard's True West. That's what I see, and that's what excites me about it. I look at that, and I think Matt Reeves has his vision, and he doesn't give a shit. And Bill, you and I have texted about this. We've talked about it. Is he going to make Colin Farrell look a little bit more like a traditional Oswald Cobblepot? Is he going to put weight on him? Is he going to do something with his nose from a prosthetic standpoint? Or maybe not.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The casting in itself, regardless of what they do with this physicality anyway, is a out-of-the-box, where did that come from? And I love it.
Yes, absolutely, because
just like that cowboy from Brokeback Mountain playing the Joker.
Yes, a gay cowboy, Rick.
A gay cowboy.
How can a gay cowboy play the Joker? And a
I don't know,
Knight's
Bill.
Tale. And
I don't know, Bill.
10 Things
Brill-
I Hate About You, man. I mean, you can't.
Brilliantly, Academy
Yes.
Award winningly.
Yeah.
So
Yes. So Colin Farrell, you know, he went through a spell, Rick, in the early 2000s. They tried to force him into being this leading man type role, action leading man. But he's become much better as an actor, I guess, that's the way I put it, but a more accomplished, as more of a character type actor, playing these obscure roles and whatnot. And this is just, I think it's great. I like Colin Farrell.
much like Robert Pattinson.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, yes. Now, you know, we still get, we still get, why is a sparkly vampire playing Batman? I mean, can you not get past that? He took the look. Listen to me. If you can't get over the sparkly vampire playing Batman, he's an actor. And that was a role he was playing, and it actually was a good gig because it elevated his stature and his notability. What's the right word I'm looking
Notoriety.
for? Yes.
Notoriety. And he took his $50 million.
Yes.
And he's like, adios, and went and learned to be a better actor.
And he went and took a bunch of. He's been on the indie type small art house scene ever since, and has really become a
to hone his craft.
Fantastic actor. Not saying he wasn't a good actor in the first place, but I mean, come on.
Right.
You know? Come on now.
Mr. Mom is Batman.
Yes.
If Mr. Mom can be Beetlejuice can be Batman.
Mr. Mom, Beetlejuice, Bill Blazkowski from Night Shift, still my favorite Michael Keaton movie of all time.
I mean,
Barney
look
Rubble,
at
what an actor.
If you're old enough to remember Bosom Buddies, and to think that that actor, some goofy guy that dressed in drag to live in an apartment in this offbeat, weird early 80s comedy is one of the most accomplished actors in American cinematic history.
Here was
Mr. Tom Hanks.
Here's the premise of that show, Bosom Buddies. That Rick, two dudes needed a place to live, so they went to an all-women's apartment type complex and had to dress as women to be able to live there. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was the show, and Tom Hanks was the star of it.
And it originally opened with Billy Joel's song, but that was eventually pulled, unfortunately.
So, overall, Rick, any thoughts besides Pat? You talked about Colin Farrell. I think it's great. Andy Serkis is Alfred. Different. I mean, I had heard I did hear they were going for different physicality from what we're used to, and also age. Andy Serkis is in his 50s. He's older than me, I believe. So he's not as old as the Alfreds we've seen previously, even though I think Jeremy Irons was probably he's probably in his 60s, I would imagine. Mm-hmm. But, you know, Michael Caine was probably in his 70s, and Michael Golf from Batman 89 was up there. So a little younger, maybe a different, more of a, Alfred in the comics, even today, his backstory is he was a badass at one time. Mm-hmm. He was the equivalent of he was a British Secret Service, FBI, whatever, CIA type agent, whatever, And so maybe they're going for. We've never seen that in a live action Batman movie. So
no, to be fair to
route, yeah.
To be fair to B versus S, I think there was hints of that with that particular offer.
Yeah.
Right, but not full. No. Yeah, and also going with someone younger, interesting choice too. If you just look at age, and this could span over 10, 12 years, Bill.
Yeah. So
I mean, think about it. What the Dark Knight trilogy started in 2005 and went through 12.
Yes.
Okay.
And you take into account of
take an 80-year-old man and
Nolan got the gig in 2002, 2003. So I mean, he spent over a decade of his life working on that trilogy. Yeah. So that's what we're looking at here, and we're still a year and a half away from.
So maybe, and maybe it's smart. You get an 80-year-old man that's very capable of playing the part, but When he's 90, 92, maybe not so much.
And
so
he's also not bald head, mustache, tall, thin, comic book
proper.
Alfred. You know, and I wrote something yesterday. I posted it yesterday about with this casting as we go forward. What you need to do is expect the unexpected. I think that's what we're going to get with this casting. Any thoughts about Jeffrey Wright as Jim Gordon?
I'll be honest with you. I don't know enough about the man's work. I just started YouTubing him, and he's got a very like ferocious presence. He seems really cool. I like his look. So look at this point right now until I get proven otherwise. I'm trusting Matt Reeves. I've been hashtagging in Reeves we trust, and now you've got Lenny Kravitz's daughter going to be Selena Kyle.
Yes, excuse me.
I'm all over it, man.
Yes. You want to talk about the elephant in the room or not?
Here's the deal. If you're pissed off because these actors are African American or not exactly how you physically, especially if it's about a race thing, then quite frankly, you don't deserve a seat at the table. So I don't really care about your opinion. If you're a purist and you're thinking, oh man, it's not about race, I just characters to look like they do in the comic book, that's at least fair. But I would just go back to my point about Philip Seymour Hoffman and John C. Reilly, the great late Philip Seymour Hoffman, I might add, is get out of that mindset about casting. Trust the director until they give you a reason not to trust them. Mr. Mom was never supposed to work as Batman. Gay cowboy from Brokeback Mountain should not have ever been the Joker. And Twilight should never have been Batman. And my God, let's go back to Ben Affleck. People had a meltdown about that casting. So
yes, they did. Absolutely.
They absolutely did. So let's just stop.
And
If the movie comes out and she doesn't work, fair enough. Then it's fair criticism, but it's not because she's black or quarter black or half black, okay, or has dreads or doesn't or whatever. It's just because maybe it was miscasting. Right now, I've not seen Matt Reeves miscast. He hasn't in his two Apes films, and I'm trusting Reeves. And I'll just finish with this. In terms of casting and different races, again, blows my mind that we even have to discuss this. But despite our maybe differences of opinion of the Snyder films or whatever, everybody loved Lawrence Fishburne as Perry White. So just let it go.
Or didn't blink an eye.
Right.
You know, I don't recall. Hey.
No.
Billy D. Williams was Harvey Dent 30 years ago. 30 and a half.
Eartha Kitt was a black Catwoman in the 1960s.
Over 50 years ago. Yeah.
When in the middle of the civil rights movement.
Yes.
And she looked great.
Yeah.
I look at Eartha Kitt as Catwoman. I just see a hot Catwoman. I don't know what you guys see.
Whatever. So.
Whatever. Okay, moving on.
Yeah. All right. So that's about. I think we're caught up with about everything in the world of Batman on film. Joker.
So just recapping the Batman stuff, man. It's rolling. Let's enjoy the ride. This is the fun part. We're going to get more casting soon. Possibly even next week. There's Harvey Dent. We know for sure that's going to get cast at some point. Probably already has. We'll start getting some kind of visual direction. When and where exactly that happens. Maybe we get the car. Maybe we get a shot of the suit, or who knows.
I think that's a little, but that's coming. Yes, I don't.
No, I don't mean. Yeah. I don't mean that next week. I just mean between here and the movie opening, we've got a lot of little things to look forward to.
Yeah, so
it might be 3.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah. I mean, what this tells me, the way they've released this, Catwoman and the Penguin are probably the two most prominent villains in the movie, but Reeves has said that he's been Batman 2 or 3 years. The Rogues Gallery exists, and supposedly Two-Face is in the film. Firefly is supposedly in the film, as well as Mad Hatter. Probably smaller roles than Penguin and Catwoman. And I know we think, well, the Penguin must be the main villain. I just have a feeling with the type of movie he's doing, this detective a lot of Seven in it and Chinatown and things like that. We probably may not know who the real villain is until the very end of the movie. So who knows? I think there's going to be a lot of twists and turns with this film. It's going to be different than what we've ever seen. But yeah, this is, like you said, this is the time to enjoy. I've had people email me, and I think it's complete BS. I think once that film opens, their ass will be in a seat on June 25th. 2021, saying they're not going to see the movie because of the casting of Robert Pattinson or the casting of Jeffrey Wright as Jim Gordon. Come on, man. You're going to be at that theater seeing that movie.
And if you're not, who gives a shit?
Yeah, if you're not, too bad.
Right? I don't care.
We're going to be enjoying all this. All right.
I don't want some racist jerk sitting next to me in the theater anyway.
So,
anyway.
Anything you want to plug? Maybe want to introduce your Twitter to everyone.
At Shew Rick. I'm going to see the Joker on Wednesday. Finally, I'm going with a group of my neighborhood camping dads. We all talked about it over the weekend. We were camping, and all of them were kind of shocked that I hadn't seen it yet. Obviously, rightfully so. So that's gonna be fun. And none of these guys have seen it, so I'm going to see that on Wednesday. I'll put out my thoughts on it, which will be anticlimactic AF.
I'd be interested in seeing how many people are in the theater when you see.
We're gonna see. We haven't got our tickets yet, but we're looking at like a 9:00 screening.
I mean, it's been a month, over a month. So.
Well, I'm gonna go help it. I'm gonna go throw my contribution in to tick it up to $1 billion.
Well,
$1 billion.
Yes. All right. Anything else? Let's make sure, because I don't know when we're gonna vlog again.
A lot of fun. Well, I just haven't been in town, dude. I haven't been here to vlog. Because it's best that we do these on the weekend, Saturday morning, Sunday mornings. I'm just excited for everything coming up, man. That Star Wars Episode 9 around the corner. That's like next month, dude. It's already November.
Yeah.
Wow. Already November. We have Birds of Prey, Wonder Woman 84. We have what else do we have? Star Wars Episode 9. It's fun, man. It's a good time.
Is there going to be nonsense over the new Star Wars movie, or?
Oh no, Star Wars fans are always level. Let me just say this real quick. Just real fast about Star Wars fandom is this notion that regardless if you like the sequel trilogy or the new films or the Disney acquisition, whatever, it's live and let live. But this notion that somehow that the Star Wars fandom is all split and these films have made everything divisive in this once peaceful, harmonious, collective community of Star Wars fans it's like prime 100% USDA horseshit. Oh my God, I have been a Star Wars fan my entire life. It has always been toxic. It has always been divisive. I lived through the special editions when people had a meltdown about those, particularly later on when Lucas added Hayden Christensen as the Force Ghost at the end of Return of the Jedi. You talk about people falling apart about that. And the prequels, give me a break. People hated those movies back then. Lucas used to get more handwritten hate mail than Rian Johnson ever got hateful tweets. It's always been divisive and nutty and passionate. And beautiful and awesome all at the same time. So I just want to get that on the record. You're not going to tell a 44-year-old man that's been a fan of this franchise since 1980 or 79, probably, really technically, that this is something new, because it ain't. So to your question, Bill, of course it is. I do think this film's going to have quote unquote fan service in it enough to calm some of those waters. And I don't have a problem with fan service if it's done. You can have fan service that works. That's a little wink and things. It's fun. I don't think JJ's going to double, triple down on that and just try to retcon The Last Jedi and all that nonsense. But look, it's the last film of this 9-part story. So let's see. And anybody out there also saying, I'll do one more little Star Wars rant, that it's terrible what Disney did to Lucas, and these should be his stories. Man, I'm not so sure about that, because here's the deal. He sold Star Wars to Disney. He sold it. Here, I'm selling this to you. It's yours. And if he wanted his stories told, two things: he wouldn't have sold, or he would have put in the agreement, the contract, that I'm selling, but you have to do these 3 storylines. Neither one of those things happened, so I just also want to get that on the record. And that's my Star Wars rant. I'm done.
Okay. There's your Star Wars rant for.
That's my Star Wars
this
rant.
Vlog. All right.
I'm going to ask one
All
more
right.
question about Robert Pattinson, then we're going
All
to
right.
run, just so we can close it on a Batman note. Do you think he's getting? First of all, I'd love to be a fly on the wall. What's the film he's doing, Nolan, right now? What's it called?
Tenet.
I'd love to be a fly on the wall because he and Nolan are razor focused on that film. There's no question about that. But there's also no way they're not chatting about Batman. Wouldn't you just love to hear some of those conversations?
He said that they've talked about it. Yeah.
But I mean, continue to talk about it. I have no doubt. But I just wonder, and we'll end it here, Bill. This would be a good way to end the show. Do you think he's getting any specific direction on what to read? He's not just randomly reading Batman comics?
I think he will read. Well, he's apparently got a lot of stuff they've given him, but he'll probably Reeves. That'll be a Reeves thing. All right, here. Why don't you check these out?
Sure.
I know, like Michael Uslan tells the story. He's told me several times that when Tim Burton got the directing gig for Batman back in 1988, 87, 88, Michael was doing his best to give him the darker Batman stuff, the Dark Knight, not the stuff from the 60s or 50s, to influence him in that direction. But I mean, there's probably some things that some Batman stories Reeves has taken inspiration from. We've heard maybe a little bit of Long Halloween. We've heard a little bit of Year One, not as an origin tale, but just the vibe of it. Batman.
What's your 2 books that Nolan was influenced by as well?
Nolan, of the whole trilogy. In the whole trilogy, Batman Begins is in it. Long Halloween is in it. The Man Who Falls is in it. Nightfall is in it.
Nightfall. I was just you took the words out of my mouth.
Nightfall's in it. No Man's Land is a little bit in it, and it's not what I like about it with Nolan. It's not, he never adapted. It was not straight up adaptations. It was influenced by. Take a look. Borrow a little bit of this,
or comic book accurate.
Yes, Batman and Batman Begins calling the bats in to help him escape from that building after Rachel Dawes had been poisoned by the Scarecrow, and the bats come swarming in. That's out of Batman Year One. I mean, he does that in that comic. Completely different type of scene. Batman in the comic was pinned down and wounded, and the police were about to get him, and he was saving Rachel. But the rooftop scene in The Dark Knight between Batman, Harvey Dent, and Gordon, when the camera's circling around them and Batman's just standing there.
Love that scene. God, that scene's great.
I think all he says is, "If I get him to you." What's the line, Rick?
So he says, "I'll get him to sing."
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when you get him to talk, I'll get him to sing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's out of Long Halloween. I mean, there's a shot, Tim Sale art of them in the, So I suspect Reeves will be doing that type of stuff too, not adapting something. Because there's a lot of non-Batman stuff in Reeves's film. I mean, we're talking Chinatown. We're talking Seven. A lot of Hitchcock, Dowling for Murder,
Hitchcock,
things like that. I mean, stuff that he's brought up. That's not Batman, but it's an influence on this movie.
It's cool that he's influenced by Seven, because I have always stated, and I'm probably on record saying this over the years on our podcast and perhaps even on the vlog, that a Riddler story with the Seven vibe, I could see that really working. Hell, I think even at the time I was thinking Kevin Spacey in that role. Although maybe Kevin Spacey, let's say, opens up a can of worms, but I'll say maybe he makes a comeback. I mean, he was not convicted. But anyway, neither here nor there.
Okay, I'll ask you one more thing before we go.
Yeah, then let's roll.
We'll get out of here. How would you take to the Batman if that world had a 70s vibe to it, but was kind of timeless, like a lot of 70s looking stuff, and like maybe with the cars and some of the technology, but at the same time there's computers and maybe cell phones and stuff like that, you know, like Batman 89 in a way, which had a 30s 40s vibe, but this one, because seems to be very gritty street level type
Taxi Driver
stuff. Yes, yeah.
Which Taxi Driver 2 was awesome, by the way.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Yes,
because we needed that sequel.
Dog Day Afternoon 2 blew my mind.
Yeah.
And as my lawn people are coming in, Rick, real quick,
we'll go. Oh yeah, we're
get
blowing our cover. We're not in a multi-million-dollar studio.
No.
Okay, we're gonna run. No, I would not. Here's what I care about. You know what I care about? I want it to be great. And however we get there, however Reeves does it, that's my only request, dude. Just make it great.
Yeah.
Make this film as good or not better than Batman Begins. I applaud you. I encourage you. I would love to have new favorite Batman movies. I would. Because right now I've got the trilogy and I have 89, and I love those 4 movies. But quite honestly, the rest of the Batman films I either I'm okay with, or I flat out don't like. So
look,
I'm flexible.
As long as he puts Batman in space in the Batman, I'm going to be happy. All right, so Rick, maybe Superman.
As long as
as
long as it's connected to Rocky 5. Just connected to Rocky 5.
Yes. That would be great. Fantastic. All right. Batman on Film. Rick, follow me at Batman on Film on Twitter. And
release the Stallone cut.
Yes. Release the Stallone cut. Let's get that going.
All right, go ahead.
And just get it going. And it makes no sense, but we'll get it going. All right. There's a lot of hashtag movies that make no sense.
If I tweet release the Stallone cut, will you retweet it?
Oh yes.
Don't say anything. Don't add any commentary.
No.
And then if they watches this vlog, they'll say, okay. All right. I'm going to tweet that in a moment. Just retweet it. All right.
The Stallone cut. All right. Batman on Film. Authoritative, definitive.
And the Dadgum original.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. And pretty soon, maybe like in about 6-7 months, 8 months, we'll do these. We'll be doing these in person from time to time. All right.
That's right.
We'll catch you next time.